Alabama got a bounce back win against Missouri. They smashed them 34-0. I didn't even watch the whole entire game. I turned on another game once they went up big in the third quarter. And it was pretty obvious that Alabama was going to win this one pretty convincingly when you saw early on Brady Cook was banked up. And you got to respect the amount of toughness that Brady Cook has, because some of the injuries that he was playing with, the dude had like 3-4 injuries. He had like a thumb injury, he had an ankle injury. The dude was banged up in other places, and the dude still went out there and tried to give it his best effort. But it was pretty obvious that the injuries were holding back his play. And once he left this game and they put in Drew Pine, all hell broke loose for Missouri, man. And I saw a clip on X, Eli Drinkowitz going back and forth with the Alabama football player, just some friendly trash talk. And he said, you're only doing this because my quarterback's injured. Even if Brady Cook was healthy, Alabama still would have dominated in this game, because Missouri is obviously not the same team that we saw last year, and that's to be expected. They don't recruit on the same level, and they lose so much on defense from last year. Their defensive coordinator from last year is at LSU. They lost a good amount of experience on that side of the ball as well. The thing about Missouri is that you just went into a team that they were not going to lose this game. This was a get-right spot for Alabama, and a much-needed one. They needed not just to win this game, but they had to do it convincingly to give themselves confidence going into that big-time matchup against LSU, which their season is pretty much on the line. In terms of Alabama's playoff hopes, they already are in the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, every game from this point out for Alabama is must-win. You can't afford another loss. And if Alabama wins out, they can beat LSU next week, and they can avoid disaster against Auburn and everybody else they got to close out this season. They got a 98% chance of making it into the college football playoffs this year. For Missouri, though, your playoff hopes are over. You got no shot now with 2 losses. You don't have a signature win, and you've been blown out against 2 of the best teams that you played this year. You already got smacked by Texas A&M, and then you get smacked again on the road in Tuscaloosa. And my thing about Missouri that I was trying to tell people coming into this season is that you can't judge this team based off the best season that they've had in well over a decade. That was an outlier year. Now we're starting to realize that Missouri right now is like an 8-9 win program. Now they are capable of having a season where maybe they can compete for the SEC title. Their recruiting definitely is starting to ramp it up. I'm noticing that they're getting a lot of top 5 prospects, good quarterbacks, good edge rushers. So their future trajectory definitely is high, but right now they still are a work in progress. And Alabama, this was the performance that you expected to see out of this team with the talent that they had. Jalen Milroe had the best game that we've seen him play in well over a month, it seems like. The run game finally got going. Justice Haynes, late in this game, had a monstrous run for a touchdown when he just destroyed the defender, ran them over Marshawn Lynch, Madden 25 style, scored a touchdown. And it was just added insult to injury for Missouri. It's just this season, it started off nice when you were playing nobodies, but now that you're in the meat of your schedule, after they had to come from behind to beat Auburn, I was pretty much all but assured that Missouri was not going to be a playoff team this year, and their schedule was favorable. Like, there definitely was a path for them this year, but they kind of got a little bit lucky last year in a couple of their games. Like, they had some big-time field goals that Meathead Mevis had made last year. Your defense played at a higher level this year with your schedule increasing in difficulty and you not really being the same team that you were last year. You weren't going to have a chance at beating Alabama. But you at least thought that you could have kept this game close, because I took Missouri with the points as a 17-point underdog. And even most Alabama fans probably would agree that they didn't expect for this game to be as one-sided as what it was, but this was that confidence builder that Alabama needed going into the biggest game of their season next week against LSU, because you got to go on the road against a very desperate LSU team, and they are capable. But right now, I would take Kalen DeBoer over Brian Kelly. We seem to forget that Kalen DeBoer, despite losing to Tennessee and Vandy, the dude in the last year has beat Dan Lanning twice, Steve Sarkisian, Kirby Smart. He's beaten 3 of the 5 best coaches in the sport. So I mean, like, I expect this dude to own Brian Kelly and LSU. I trust Bama more than I trust that fraud Brian Kelly. This dude continues to make excuses for why he can't win big games. Kellen DeBoer, this dude was winning big games at Washington. He beat Texas in the semifinals with a more inferior roster than what Texas had. You know, I trust Kalen DeBoer, and that's why, as ugly as things have gotten for the Tide this year, I haven't lost faith in Kellen DeBoer. I've been a little bit shell-shocked at times with how ugly things have kind of looked, but, you know, with how oversaturated the SEC is, you probably were going to go 10-2. It probably was unrealistic for you to be a one-loss team, and we really don't know if there even is going to be a team that finishes with only one loss with how chaotic this conference has been this year. But Alabama, you know, they definitely got a bounce back win, and they showed everybody how good they can be when they're playing their best football. Their defense has improved over the last couple of weeks, but you still want to see a little bit more efficiency out of the passing game. But you can't really complain about this win. You needed this win, and you needed the style points to go along with it in the worst way imaginable, because it just seems like your season was kind of drifting towards being a complete implosion, and you getting that statement win against Missouri at least showed that you can handle the teams that you're expected to handle.